Namaste and welcome. And I'm back in conversation with not just two great musicians and two good friends, but also two very good human beings who seem to be doing a round of revenge tourism at this point. Are you, Salim and Sulaiman?
Well, not really revenge tourism. We've just been on a hectic tour around the globe for concerts. About 3-4 days back, we were in the US, in Las Vegas, performing. Yesterday, we were in Delhi, performing again. And day before yesterday. And yesterday, we were in Phuket, performing. So, it's been a whirlwind of a tour.
Sure. So, Salim, clocking up the miles and also funding merchant music on your own.
Well, I always look at the glass half full, and I feel like we must focus on that rather than half empty. And it's time also to give back, and it's also time to do a little concert for Amchi Mumbai. And I felt like we must do something in Bombay City. There's a lot of people who waiting to see us live, especially in Mumbai. And I always have friends, they're asking me when are you going to perform in Bombay? So we thought we may as well put up a concert in Bombay and for a purpose to support our own charity. And so all these concerts that we do all over the world, I thought it's time to do one for our own city.
No, I know you launched your own music label, so that's Merchant Music. Through COVID, yes. You started doing virtual concerts. Plus, you also did Let's Try and Help the Folk Musicians who really ended up on high ground or dry ground, actually, with tourism come to another. And they really, really suffered remote areas. And there was a huge number of musicians. And I remember the first time when you started it. So take us through this whole aspect of, Zariya, the thought process. And where you have come for. So because this fundraiser in Mumbai is also to try and raise funds. So it's for a good cause again.
Zariya is a movement that we started a few years ago. It was a movement to create opportunities for folk musicians. So rather than just giving them money or helping them, we thought we'd give them opportunities so that they, when they perform and they get, they can be self-sufficient. We decided to sort of do this tour in the best way possible and expose these artists. And that was fantastic. But then COVID happened, where the whole hospitality industry had shut down. And these guys needed more than anything else. And, we didn't want them to do any other job but to focus on their folk music, their music, because that is very important for our tradition. So we decided to do virtual concerts. We decided to do many, many things, do little events, virtual events because of COVID. And, all the money that we, gathered, we used to donate to our own organization. So that was one way of supporting them. And
so what's going to happen on the 12th? What's going to happen in Mumbai, Sulaiman? What are you going to be doing?
So we are doing a concert, which we have actually done almost the world over. And we have the folk musicians from Rajasthan, the Mangadiyas and the Langas, joining us and performing with us. It's going to be a concert which I'm very excited about because, this concert we've not done in Mumbai at all. We've performed this concert all over the world. And Mumbai is one place that we haven't done this concert. So we are really looking forward to it. It's going to be the usual, all our songs and then a little dhamal and dancing and singing and all of it. It's one of those concerts which I'm looking forward to.
But there's a big focus on the devotional side of songs, especially the Sufi side, which these guys are very, very, very good at. We're going to do some qawwalis. We're going to do some of our own compositions. We're going to fuse Bollywood with folk.
This is something that you've been very actively advocating. Your last two albums and all the work through COVID, the creative work, was all towards trying to bring forth our own sounds and some fantastic collaborations. Especially the ones which you did with Harshdeep and. It's just phenomenal. That Jallianwala Bagh part was just phenomenal. It's quite haunting. But how has the response been? How have people appreciated this effort to try and bring, because yeah, I also remember Independence Day. You brought out that lovely song which is Desh Hi Dharm Hai.
Yes.
So there's been a very, very strong active push, and this is also the 75th year of our independence. We are also at a time when we are looking at certain aspects of social unrest and social divide and forces that want to try and sow these seeds of division within us. So these are quite testing times for us, and this is where we have to shine through, Salim.
Yeah, what a beautiful. Yeah, you're right, Anand. And music is one place that kind of binds every culture, every tradition, and it's so beautiful. Like in this concert itself, we're doing a Krishna bhajan, we're doing we're doing something, we're doing a Ganesha thing, we're doing something with Shiva, a song that praises Shiva, and then of course we're doing the Islamic stuff. So that's what's so beautiful about music. There's no boundary of any kind of religion or any culture. It's just one, and we love drowning in our own art to to feel our culture and be proud Indians.
But in Mumbai right now, as Anu Malik ji would say, or Anu ji would say, "Dekho barish ho rahi hai." So,
Or he would also sing a garam chai ki pyali. You're all
garam chai. So, where are you doing the concert?
Bal Gandharva.
So it's going to be indoors.
Auditorium. Yes, it is indoors. It's indoors. It's very limited capacity also. It's a small auditorium, but it's a beautiful auditorium. It sounds really beautiful. And we're really looking forward to it.
So is it sold out? Are there tickets? Will I find a seat?
I think seats are available at Book My Show. So you can go and check. You don't need to book because we have a seat for you always. We have a place for you in our hearts.
अरे वो तो है मेरा क्या मैं backstage में खड़ा हो जाऊंगा मेरे को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. That's not a problem. उधर सीधे पीछे curtain पे और फिर then I'll be also privy to all the mayhem that happens at the back end because everybody sees a performance, they don't see what the craziness is. But tell me, how does it feel? Oh yeah, please go ahead.
Backstage का जो माहौल होता है, it's so different and electrifying because you see all these people rushing in and out, and somebody's missed something, and some cable is missing, and somebody's gone missing because he's got stepped out somewhere, or somebody's in the loo, and it's just electrifying. And when you get on stage, you see the calm and the peace, and you think, "Hey, yaar, आराम से बैठे होंगे, stage पे आ गए लोग."
Yeah, no. So I've been privy to some of those moments, but it also gets the adrenaline going, isn't it? It gets the nerves up a little, and you just are alert. So you just hit those, the sticks, and you get the keyboards just with that little bit of zest and verve. But tell me, how is it getting back on the active scene from COVID to now?
It doesn't feel like there was COVID, quite honestly. We are performing like crazy, traveling like mad. There's nobody wearing masks in most of the cities that we go to. Most of the countries also we go to. Yeah. And COVID is a distant reminder, a faint memory almost. And that's how people have come back with a bang. It just shows how resilient we are in terms of, picking up the pieces and moving along and moving forward rather than looking back and saying, "Hey, COVID, it did so much and so much disaster and all of that." And here we are, getting on stage, entertaining people. People are dancing. People are having fun. Of course, we've lost so many people during this whole journey of the last 2 years. But we're trying to leave all of that behind and move forward and say, "Hey, it's over now. Let's move on with our lives and let's go forward and let's do something better."
Even through COVID, you helped the folk musicians, those who you're going to be working with. They were stuck back in their homes. They did not have, till the vaccines came in, they did not have enough help. You tried to reach them a lot of help. How have they been? How tough has it been for them? And have they been able to pick up the pieces?
I think a little bit of reality has come back, especially in Rajasthan where these folk musicians reside. So a little bit of tourism has also started trickling in, and therefore some concerts have also happened for them. but it is still a big journey for them, and we want to make sure that they are indigenous people. They don't have anything else except their art, and we are making sure that they can pass on that art to the generations behind after them. And the only way they can do that is knowing that there is somebody behind them, supporting them in their endeavors, and making sure that they are protected so that they can move forward in the only field that they know, and they can perform. So it's a important task for us. It's protecting the culture that we have is very, very important, and so we are trying to do whatever we can in that respect.
No, but roughly how many families would they be, or how many musicians would they be?
So
That you've tried to help.
In the Mangania and Langa community, there's about 50 families that stay in a town called Barme. And their only source of income is performance. They have no other source of income. They don't know how to invest in stocks. They don't know how to do anything else. They just know how to play and perform. And a little bit of trickle has happened for them, where they are getting some concerts, and hotels have started patronizing them. But it's still a long journey ahead. It's tough for everybody.
No, true. But for you, have things changed over the last 2 years? We'll try and get Salim back in, I think, and ask him also. How do you see the music scene evolving? Or do you think that the last 2 years are just like a blur? Nothing's changed. It's like straight from 2019 to 2022.
No. A lot has changed in these last 2 years. People have started appreciating music, especially non-film music, because it came to a point where there were no films releasing and there were no film songs coming out. A lot of people have started watching, going to OTT and discovering music. So it's not at that point where only film music used to rule. Now you have a lot of independent music coming out, and people are listening to it, and people are loving the fact that there is music. And when you're in a playlist now, you don't look for a song which is by a famous actor or a famous composer. You look for a song that actually works for you. And that one thing has changed drastically. The way people consume music has changed. The way people watch films or TV shows has changed, because you didn't go to a cinema for 2 years. And now people are rediscovering cinema, but they also have this whole thing that, hey, listen, I can sit at home and I can watch and I can entertain myself. So a lot of things have changed. A lot of things will need to change back to the way we want it, where people go out to cinemas and go out to be entertained. So there is a big change in that sense.
Salim, I was asking Sulaiman the same thing. I said, last 2 years, has the music scene changed? Have things moved to a different level, gradient, etc.?
Yeah, I could hear you guys speak. It was, things have been very different. There's a very thin fine line between film music and on-film music right now, Anand, because, and it's really funny because the film music is trying to sound like non, and vice versa. Non-film sound like film. So it's kind of weird. It's all good in a way, because it's getting more and more, there's a sense of pluralism in the music world. Quality. A lot of artists who always wanted to be being heard and appreciated in a very big way, which is a very good thing. And it's empowering musicians like folk musicians. Even if you see all these Indian idols and Sarigama, they are really folk. All these folk musicians are really putting their heart out, and they're bringing their talent out, and it's being appreciated by the country, by a lot of people. It's a beautiful time, because it's not just about singing a typical playback kind of a voice. the more unique you are, the better. The listener is by itself giving a lot of power to the artist. It's
Yeah.
a great time because COVID has done a lot of good things. I mean, you look at like I said, I'll always like to see the glass half full. Good song, if it's a good song and if people like it can be coming from anywhere. So it could be
Correct.
Kacha Badam, it could be whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
absolutely.
catches people's eyes. It
Yeah,
doesn't need
more
to
than
be
And
eyes, it's
yours
the
actually
ears.
are different.
Yeah, more than the ears. The ears. More than the eyes, the ears. And
yeah.
yeah, you said Kacha
Only
Badam, and I was like, कैसे पागल हो गए यार public इसके ऊपर? And it was some guy who just decided to do one remix and it just went viral, didn't it? And so it was like,
but
but tell me, uh,
sorry,
go
there's
ahead, go ahead.
something which is also a bit of a bother thing. Something a bit of a bother, but I feel that that's going to change is composers and musicians are now making music for Instagram reels. I know it's going to change. It's bad. It's just, but you can't make a good song for a reel.
अब वो अब देखिए दैट्स द इवॉल्विंग फॉर्मेट इजंट इट पहले टेस्ट क्रिकेट खेलते थे फिर वनडे आया बोले अरे व्हाट इज दिस पजामा क्रिकेट दैट इज कम देन टी20 आ गया देन अरे व्हाट इज दिस गोइंग ऑन देन गुड टी20 प्लेयर्स कैन नॉट मेक टेस्ट क्रिकेटर्स गुड टेस्ट क्रिकेटर्स कैन नॉट मेक गुड टी20 अभी तो सब कुछ खेल रहा है ना एवरीबॉडी इज डूइंग एवरीथिंग and somewhere it just evolves, isn't it? The scene evolves. What do you like?
I think
Are you doing
change.
more music? Are you guys? Let me ask you this: are you guys doing more music for personal work, your own self creations, independent music, non-film music, or are you scoring more for film, or are you also doing a lot of Insta reels?
No, we are making music. It doesn't matter if we are making it for films or for non-film or for whatever. We are making music and good music. Nothing against people who are making Instagram reel music and whatever. Good music is always good music and it stays on.
Yeah.
Yesterday we performed Shukran Allah and people were still going nuts over it. It's 15 years old, that song. And people are still loving it. So, just goes to show that if you have the potential to make good music, you know that it will sustain for way, way longer than anything else.
No, absolutely. My children, my kids they love to listen to Nachle Nachle and, the track, that entire folk
Orepia.
ballad. Yeah, no, the folk ballad. Sonia Milja, Mele Me, ke uska naam Jawani, that entire story. It's just what a beautiful creation that you guys have done. So that's just phenomenal. So, yeah, the Laila Majnu song. So I'm just saying, it's good music always stays. But what are good musicians going ahead and doing now? So is it going to be more concerts, more trying to create independent music, or somewhere you're going to go back and say, "Acha, kuch filmi karte hain, sir."
There are so many concerts happening. बारिश आ गई है लेकिन concerts रुक नहीं रहे हैं. People are doing indoor concerts, building, making sure that the festival, and we had a big college festival in Ahmedabad which got washed completely, but they still want to do it again. So there's a lot of concerts and live entertainment, and of course because like I said, this so beautifully, a lot of people are making great independent music, and what's nice is films are actually curating that independent sound and taking it, as this thing, like the new song in Jug Jug Jio, Rang Sare is a non-film song, which the artist released some time ago, and now it's been taken in a movie. So there's a lot of that happening.
No, true. Even Rata Lambiya, when I heard Rata Lambiya from Shehenshah, it didn't feel like a now filmy song to me. I thought it is somebody, Jubin has done a fantastic single and something like that. And then you realize, "Arey, ye to picture ka gana hai." And then you see it in the movie. I said, "Arey, this is how they used it." So I said, "Arey, ye to cross pollination bahut acha ho raha hai." So that is something which is fantastic. Okay, gents, I'm going to wind this. Yeah, sorry. I'm going. See, we can continue talking. So, अभी से आपका concert में आके फिर बैठ के sidelines पे बैठ के बात करना पड़ेगा. So, I'm going to wind up. So, for all you know, you may just find somebody standing lurking in the backstage and saying, "Hey, what is going on? What is going on?"
More than welcome.
All the very best.
Thank you so much.
Have a blast, guys. Have a blast. So, 12th of July.
Thank you.
At the